All right. What's up, Migo? Like geeks and freaks. Today we're gonna do a little something a little different. I don't know if anybody's ever done a video like this before. So today I want to talk a little bit about. I was going through my collection and looking through some topics, and one of the things that I do enjoy in the toy collecting world, GI Joes, or any action figures, of course, that come complemented with some form of sidekick or creature or something like that. So, for example, there was a GI Joe. The later GI Joes that came out in the '90s. There was I forgot what the set was called. There's a set where he was a yellow raft, and he's a little bit modern GI Joe, and he came with this hawk or falcon, if you will. I think it's a falcon, and I think it's really cool when they put these companion figures, if you will, into them. Very similar. I was talking to Daniel Gates the other day, and he has some really cool Action Man and GI Joe sets that come with some dogs, side companions, if you will. But I want to go through some of the stuff that was here. I don't have a ton of stuff to go through, but I have a few things, and then we'll talk about some related toys and stuff like that because I thought that it's pretty cool and kind of something that we should. It'd be nice to visit once in a while. So back in the day, they made a GI Joe set, and they put this back in the '60s or '70s, I believe, and they put this shark inside. Now, this shark is approximately 8 inches long. Let's see. Oh, he's a little bigger than that. He's probably about 9 inches long. You could tell he's, the thing about the shark that I always notice is you can see where they kind of put it together. So they made the body, they made the head, and they kind of plastic or rubber welded it together. But it's a pretty cool looking shark. It's, this one's got a little bit of a mark on it. And it's got its teeth and it looks pretty good. I have to say, it's not a bad looking shark. As a matter of fact, I like this one better than what they came out with later, although it's quite a bit bigger. It's the same similar set that they reproduced into a more modern one came with this shark. This one's obviously a different shark. You actually have space in there, not just a mouth, a little bit of space, but you've got quite a big space. And you could take a look at the size comparison between the two. I mean, they basically were this was the modern version of this set. I forget what it's called. And all the GI Joe collector guys will be out there. They'll probably be able to identify it in no time. But yeah, it's a bigger shark. It's not just one single plain gray with a little bit of white for the teeth. They did a nice job. They shade it with gray on top and white on the bottom, like pretty much envision a shark to be, and it's quite a bit bigger. This figure itself is probably going to be about. He's probably in the 13-inch range, and needless to say, you can take a little look. It even got some. I don't know why they put this on the front of his hair. It almost looks like he has gills here, but not quite sure why they did that. That doesn't look too realistic for shark. But in any case, you can see this one's actually seamed kind of here in the middle. Um, but definitely a very, very cool piece. I think it's neat. Sharks have always fascinated me, and I have terrible fear of them also being eaten by one. But there's some other cool stuff that they made back in the vintage days, if you will. And like I said, I don't have everything. I just have a few things. They had this giant squid. And this came with the submarine set, which I know Brian Sanchez actually has, I believe, the whole set. I think he might even have it in the box. And this is just a really cool giant squid. I mean, it's got the big eye, it's got the long tentacles. They did a good job making this. You can see it's actually two parts here on the middle where the seam is, but it's great. Now, I don't think if you look inside, all you're going to find is it's hollow inside and you put your finger in there. There's no beak in there. But I guess if you wanted to put that on top of it, some Joe's head to attack him, you could, and it's really cool. The rubber's very strong. I mean, you could cut it with a knife or probably a sharp pair of pliers if you would, but it's a very strong rubber. You drop this, it's not going to break. And I like that. I like the idea of what this looks like. I think they did a good job, even if you look inside here. They've got little, just if you could see that, there's a little pattern for the little suckers in there. Same thing in here. There's also a pattern, if you guys can see those, for the suckers, which is really cool. So they did some nice detail on that. Now, in a more modern piece that's a little bit different, They had made a Joe set which came with this giant moray eel, if you will. He's got a good look to him. He does look dangerous. He looks aggressive and angry. Can't get your finger in past there, if you will. The eyes are pure black, and if you've ever seen a moray eel, this is a really good representation. What I do like about this is it's also bendable. There's a wire inside. I don't want to bend it too much because this one's probably getting about 20 some years old. There were the remake sets, but again, this one's probably about 12 inches. Yeah, this one's about 12 inches tall, and it's actually quite cool. I think it's a really neat piece, and it's just awesome to have. I don't even have all the Joes. For the modern ones, I bought the Joes, and I probably sold some of them off, or I may have some pieces over there. But the older ones, I just have the creatures themselves. This one, we showed this one yesterday for a little bit, and this is the octopus. I know this is from the 8 Ropes of Danger Deep Sea Diver set, and you could see here's the bottom of him. He's quite large. You can see he fits into my hand as so. His eyes are not painted. He's all black. But they use this actual set, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. They actually use this octopus for a ad for the arrival of the Ghost of Captain Kidd coming out in the Fighting Furies to announce him. It was a ad with a bunch of prototypes in it and some like a small sail ship that hadn't been produced, which is a shame. And they used this octopus in the ad, but they had painted the eyes white, and it looked like they used the same paint. It looked like they used. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, looks like they used the same paint that they did to paint the prototype Ghost of Captain Kidd, which was really a Hook figure or Captain Hook figure, depending where you got him in the U.S. You got him overseas, and they painted him all white and changed his clothes, and then they used that to paint this. So he's pretty cool. He is a bit of a jiggler, if you will. Stretches a little, but this is a really great octopus. I think it's a great representation of an octopus. I really do. I think it's good. All right, let's go on to some other stuff, G.I. Joe. Now, these aren't exactly companions of G.I. Joe, but again, when they reproduced some of the later G.I. Joes, they had made them G.I. Joe and the planet Xenome, Xenome. He came in 3 different sets. There was 2 different G.I. Joes, if I remember. Maybe there were one, I think 2 of the sets of the same G.I. Joe, and one was different. One of them was African American. The other 2, I believe, were the same brunette, but I could be wrong on that. They may have had a different one in there. I don't remember. Have to talk to the G.I. Joe guys really to get a better understanding. But they came with these really great aliens, and I think I've shown these once before, but I thought we'd go into these a little more in detail. Don't fall. I'll bring them over. I'm going to lower the camera a little bit or raise them up so you can actually see them. And these are actually good. They're pretty sought after, if you will. Let me bring them down a little bit for you guys to see. And we've got 3 different ones. This one kind of reminds me of an ant. Take a look at his face. He's kind of got an ant face to him, a little bit of insect. Their posability is basically the head moves. The heads are squishy, very squishy actually, and I think they just pop on. They pop on over there. Their arms are pretty much. They bend at the shoulder and they bend in the pelvis area, the pelvic area. But this one actually has these sucker fingers, and as you can see, these also move. Only one, just the middle one. So he's a really great figure if you haven't seen him. He is one of the 3 aliens. He's one of the, I don't want to say more common, because they're not really common, and they're quite expensive. Matter of fact, I bought these boxed at Toys R Us when they first came out and then sold them for quite a bit more than I paid. And even the cost of one of these is almost about what the box set cost, if you will, for that kind of stuff. Oh, here comes my mother-in-law. And here comes my father-in-law. So this one right here is actually, this one, that was really good. Caught me off guard. They're like, what the fuck are you doing now? Just kidding. So this one actually, same thing, squishy. I don't know what he is. He definitely looks more of an alien or a kind of a squid face, if you will, on him. Same thing with the arms, opposability, and so on are there. The backs are pretty similar. Matter of fact, the backs on these, all these figures are actually the same. They're molded in different plastic. And the front, as far as the legs and the torso are the same. It's just the arms basically and the head that make the difference. Now this one's actually got kind of those claw fingers like you expect. And again, these actually go up and down. Now they actually have this one has a little peg on there, so I guess it's easier to move up and down, if you will. And this is actually movable through there. So you can actually take these and enjoy your aliens. The last one, which is probably one of the most difficult to get. I don't know if they underproduced him, if he was done in limited quantities, if it's the color, the look of the face, and they are doing buenas noches, and they're doing laundry. Yes, right through the studio. So they're doing laundry. I think they have no clue what I do down here sometimes. So, but this one's the blue one. So we have basically a reddish brown, we have a tan one, and we have this blue one. And this is the one that I like the most. The eyes on these are really great. They're painted. Would have been cool if they made these eyes like kind of a glass or something, but it looks like they just painted them, so on. But it's definitely, they did a good job. Again, the same back, the same torso, the same legs, and these clawed feet. But then again, the arms are different and the head. And this one actually, he only has two, and he's kind of got this crab lobster thing going on, if you will. And these actually can be opened and closed at will. And he's actually he's very cool. These are fantastic. Even without the Joes, I love these figures. They're very, very cool. All right, so let me show you a couple other things that came on. First thing I'm going to show you is, if you guys know Gabriel Lone Ranger figures, the 10-inch figures, if you will, with, of course, Lone Ranger, Butch Cavendish, Tonto, Red Sleeves, Little Bear, Dan Reed. Did I miss anybody? There's a few others in there, actually, on the European side, but the same company that made those also made this Lassie figure. Now, for those of you who were too young to know what Lassie was, it was a great show, black and white, back in the day. And it's funny because Lassie, actually, I found out later that actually the real dogs that they used to use, or the main dog, was actually a male. It wasn't a female. But it's this collie. This is made by Gabriel. This goes back to the 70s. His head goes up and down, as you could see. It goes up and down. They did a good job doing the hair. His legs go forward and backward. And then you can even move the little paw. You can move the paws. They even have their own bendable area there, only in the front, and in the back they're just, the whole leg moves. And of course there's this plastic tail. Now, in scale with this, but made by Kenner, is actually, well, I'll show you the box first, because I have a box, is Duke the Super Action Dog. And Duke is actually, he's a very cool figure. He had all these different things. I have some of the stuff over there. I have the headquarters, or is it there? I have this rescue unit, and so on. There's a couple other pieces in there, but this thing is really cool. I got this and this. And he was basically, this dog did everything. He had accessories. Some had batteries, so you could have like a flashlight with him. He could carry in his mouth. Now, this set contains Duke, his Canyon slide, and the comic book. Now, I don't think the one I had came with the Canyon slide or the comic book. It was just the box and the dog. The rest of it is unfortunately missing. But it's definitely still cool. That the artwork and stuff is really neat. Kenner did a nice job. I always wonder where they got these kids from. I'm thinking that they probably were children of the employees or whoever was doing them. But let me give you an idea on Duke. So Duke was basically this German Shepherd. His legs posed, his tail moves. He's bendable in the middle. He's got this part where you could turn him a little bit. The front, the head goes up and down and so on. But also, his mouth is spring-loaded so that he could hold things, if you will. Now, for those of you that are old enough to remember, the $6 Million Man, everybody thought this was the Bionic Dog. He wasn't. However, because I believe Kenner also made the $6 Million Man, I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there who had this that moved him into their $6 Million Man set. Matter of fact, a lot of guys today will display him with their $6 Million Man figures. He's to scale for the most part. Very cool figure. They did a really nice job. You can even, the eyes they're pretty well painted. They're not bad. But yeah, in addition, there used to be a show that I used to watch when I was very young called Run, Joe, Run. And it was a TV show about a German Shepherd. I think he was something like, he was in the military, but they helped him escape, and the dog was always on the run. I don't know, it was a TV show, but the dog helped people and so on. So it's very cool, and that's very similar to that. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you tonight, because there's other things that I have, like we could talk about the Lone Ranger horses. We could talk about the Excel Wild West horses, several other horses that are out there. There's other things to be had. I don't have a lot of them here. I have some, but there's plenty of other stuff out there that we could put, and there's other things we could talk about. But this I want to show you because this was a custom piece that my friend Tony May did. and he did a really nice job with it. And I was very, very excited when I received this. It came to me with several other things, and oh, sorry, let's put that on. And so Tony actually, there we go. So make that a little bit better. That'll work for now. All right, so Tony put together this giant shark. Now this comes, I see they sell it in Walmart, but Tony took what was basically a plain plastic shark, and he basically turned it into what would really be almost a very scary, nasty shark. Of course, the mouth opens, as you could see. He'd put all kinds of stuff inside the mouth, which was cool. He painted it very well, as you could see. It's got that great look. And then he stuck this, I don't know, I guess he drilled a hole. He stuck this hook with a chain in its fin, as if somebody was trying to catch it. And I think that's really awesome because it just gives him that really nasty, mean old shark look, this is the kind of thing that scares the shit out of me in the water. Not like the other ones that are just kind of hanging around. That coming at me would have scared the piss out of me, especially with a mouth like that. But this is great. So with my Fighting Furies display, he can live outside the ship in the water next to them, make sure they stay on board. All right, that's pretty much what we have for this episode today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We invite you guys to check out our webpage at www.mymigolike.com. It's below over here. You can check it out. It's right there. You can also, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like. And then we invite you to come to our Facebook group, which is Migo Like and Facebook. And we allow all kinds of fun opinions. We allow all kinds of collections. It does not have to look like Amigo. It doesn't have to resemble Amigo. You could be collecting, actually, somebody in the group. We have people who collect He-Man. We have people who collect Matchbox cars. We have people who collect gem dolls, all kinds of stuff. G.I. Joe, you name it, it's all there, and it's all for discussion. And you're welcome to post and make comments about it without having to worry about getting kicked or banned or silenced. We take a lot of pride in making sure that we allow you your free speech. Okay, so hopefully everybody's had a good time. We're going to end this, and thank you very much for watching. Peace.